Hello, Slackers. It's Doug. So I thought I'd just do a quick Loom video while I've got all my tabs open. If you couldn't make it this morning, so this was the pad. You're very welcome to have a look at that. Bear in mind it deletes next week automatically, so copy and paste that if you need it. I'm going to go through ChatGPT, Claude, Google AI Studio, and Mistral. Just to bear in mind that I have created something called Groundwork, which you can download for free. It runs offline and it looks like this. You can conversationally update it. So, for example, if you put an API key in, which it tells you how to do in the settings, this is just the demo version. You can say, remind me to send an invoice to Scope next week. There we go. Remind me to send an invoice to Scope next week. And also, if you said that you'd invoiced them, and you can move things around and do all that kind of stuff as well. And then when you switch to live, it asks you information about when your year end is and if you're VAT registered and all that kind of stuff. That might be enough for you. But if you want to create your own, that's awesome. These are some tools you can use. I would suggest that you use this meta prompt. You can see that someone is already copying and pasting that. The meta prompt is useful for anything you do with AI. So first of all, you type this in or you copy and paste it in. What assumptions am I making that I haven't stated? Sometimes we assume context. What information would significantly change your answer? What's the most common people make when asking these kind of questions? And then you can just say, look, I want to make a freelancer dashboard. So let's see what happens when we do that with all of these different tools. So I'm going to start from the worst to the best. Okay, so Mistral is a French open source approach where they take open source models, which tend to be about 18 months behind the frontier ones, and then they put them in the cloud for you to be able to use. So here we are. That's the meta prompt. How do I create a freelancer dashboard? And it basically goes through, and here's the mistakes people make. Here's a question for you. I've said I want to use this dashboard for business development. And then essentially what it does is it says, here's how you could use Salesforce and Zoho and all that kind of stuff. And it's basically telling you that you can do this yourself. And then when I at the end say, I'd like you to build this for me in code, it creates something which is rubbish. So that's that. That's Mistral. I wouldn't be using that. Is ChatGPT any better? Well, apart from funding Donald Trump, and therefore a reason why you should ditch it, let's have a look. So, again, the meta prompt, how do I create a freelancer dashboard? It tells you assumptions you might be making, information which would help, common mistakes people make. I answer it, the kind of thing that I want to build, and then it suggests that there's some tools that I could use if I don't want to build this myself. I go down, keep on going. It creates a template, like a spreadsheet template. That's fine. But I want you to create an HTML file which I can update. It creates that, but it's not very good. So I can put things in. I can say scope and £3,000, and I want to put that in the conversation bit. Great, but it's just not great. Not very good. So let's go with Claude. Claude's great. Okay, let's just have a look at this. So again, put that prompt in, freelancer dashboard, goes through the assumptions. And then these bits here, it actually pops up with the questions at the bottom and gets you to choose from options. I really like that kind of UX. And so here we are, and it's created an HTML file for me. If we open that up, then it's got, you could change the styling of this, but it's already useful in the sense of it's got a little Kanban kind of board, which I can move this, I can move this around. And also I can go through revenue, clients, and capacity. And it's interactive and it's offline. This is on my computer. I've downloaded it. And then Google. So the same prompt again. This is using Google AI Studio. Copy and paste it in. How do I create a freelance dashboard? Thought for a very long time. Assumptions, information, question for me. I don't use Google a lot for AI stuff, so I just pointed towards my website, dynamicskillset.com, said I want to use it with BizDev, and then it created something for me. So let's have a look at what it created. There we go. So it created a nice looking dashboard, and you can change this and you can give it information. I don't know why it's not being clickable at the moment, but the idea is that this will be clickable and that I could download that and use it offline, or maybe I could make it online. Maybe I should press publish. I should publish it. It's not real data. So let's see what happens. It's going to take a couple of minutes. Okay, maybe I'll come back to that. Anyway, so I've mentioned groundwork already. I would suggest that what you want to do is to use multiple AI tools. It's a bit like having different tools in your tool belt. You don't always use Google Docs. You don't always use PowerPoint. You don't always use Notion. You use different things for different purposes. So all of these tools are useful for different things. For example, I subscribe to Perplexity for like writing and research mainly. It can build things, like it tried to make a dashboard, but it wasn't very good. I like Perplexity because you can choose different models if you pay for it, etc. But I use Claude and Claude Cowork in particular for my dashboard because I can conversationally update it. I'm actually using Claude quite a lot. I'm paying quite a lot of money for it because I tend to use it in the terminal for building stuff like groundwork. I didn't build groundwork just by having a bit of a chat in Cowork. I actually went into the terminal and acted like a product manager. So just bear that in mind as well. Let's go back and see if Google has finished. Yes, it has. Let's have a look to see what it looks like. Open in. There we go. I still can't click on things though, Google. So work in progress. There we go. Anyway, you missed an hour and a half of me rambling on like this, people asking questions, sharing their screen and doing stuff. If you've got any questions, I'm in Slack. You can just DM me or you can ask me in the main chat. Definitely don't use DenseClaw or OpenClaw or something like that, because if you don't know what you're doing and you don't kind of sandbox it and limit the things it's got access to, then it might look like it's going to be great, but it's going to cost you a fortune and or destroy your reputation. So there we go. Cheers, thanks, bye.